Hey guys, Long Games Guy here, back at you with the quarantine movie slash TV show reviews. This is our second episode of season 2 of quarantine movie reviews. I've kind of decided to split this into a seasonal thing, um, season 1. We had season 1 already. That playlist is up, and we're gonna have season 2. I'm gonna be making that playlist too. Right after this recording, I'm gonna be making that playlist happen. So, let's just get right into it. I don't really have any more announcements. But let's just get right into the show, because I don't really I really want enough time to talk about this, because uh a thing I kind of regretted doing in my Invincible review is that I really didn't get to all the things I want to talk about. I really didn't. And I don't really want to make a part to that review, but uh, there's so many things I had to leave out for time constraints. Like I wish Share Factory I could push the time limit more than an hour, because there was a ton of stuff. I wanted to kind of do a detailed analysis of each episode, because they all have something, except really like episode 6, that I feel like is really cool about them. But enough of Invincible. Let's get to the TV show we're going to be reviewing today. This is a Netflix original. It released its first episode in 2019 and ended earlier this year. That show I'm talking about is Carman Sandiego. 2019. Now, before I get into the show itself, I want to hold up. First of all, disclaimer: spoiler warning all over this dang review. All right, spoiler warning all over this dang review. But I do not want to tell you the grade. I do not want to tell you the grade I have for this yet. I do not want to tell you yet, because there's a reason why I'm not going to tell you the I'm not going to tell my grade now for very important reasons. But spoiler alert right now. Spoiler alert. I'm going to be spoiling the freak out the show, just like I did Invincible. So let me tell the story of how I found out about this show. Alright, so I was scrolling through Netflix one time, and the thing where they have, recommended for you because you watch this and this. I freaking saw that, and I saw that they had this Carmen Sandiego show. Now, I know all about Carmen Sandiego. I used to watch the cartoon when I was like 5. Yeah, so like 10 years ago. No, my bad, not 10 years ago. 11 years ago. 11 years ago is the last time I actually watched that show. I have not seen the OG 90s Carmen Sandiego since I was 5. So, yeah, so I was like, they actually made a whole remake of the Carmen Sandiego, and of course Netflix would be the one type to do this. So I wasn't interested, because like 3 major factors. One, it's a freaking Carmen Sandiego remake. Who asked for that? Like, who asked for a remake of Carmen Sandiego, that obscure 90s cartoon where Carmen, who's supposed to be a woman, looks like a whole man? Now she definitely didn't look like a man in this, but in the OG cartoon, she did. I'm like, she looks like a man, and I'm like, why the freak would they make a remake of that? Number 2, it's a Netflix original. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Netflix originals, to be 100% honest. I am nowhere near. I don't like a lot of Netflix originals, and I do mean a lot of them. especially when they're an animated Netflix original. When they're an animated Netflix original, because whenever I think of an animated Netflix original, you know, I think of stuff like this, or stuff like this, and I'm like, oh Lord, you can totally skip me with that. I definitely don't need this. I definitely don't need this. Thank you. And I'm like, so it's a remake. It's a Netflix original. It's a remake of a 90s cartoon, of an obscure 90s cartoon. And it's a Netflix animated original? Now, judging, the art looks really good. I'll get to the art later, but the art looks really good. But I don't know if I really want to. I don't really want to know if I want to pour, hours into watching a show about Carman, a remake about Carmen Sandiego, a Netflix original, to be freaking frank. And the third reason why I really didn't, I just straight up avoided this show, is because, I was like I straight up was like, bro, this is going to be some, like, I was worried this was going to be some She-Ra stuff, anyone watch She-Ra? If you don't know you never watch She-Ra, consider yourself lucky. I'm like, bro, they're gonna make this some weird AF, this weird AF freaking show that no one, like, they're gonna make this weird, this thing just gonna make a weird spin-off that no one asked for, and it's extremely freaking weird and strange in every way, and it's like, bro, what the freak is this? Like, what? Like, who asked to make a remake about She-Ra from He-Man? Like, and I think, again, my main reasons for avoiding this show was the fact that it was a Netflix original and that it was a remake of Carmen Sandiego, and I was kind of salty that at the time that I saw it, I was salty that freaking, I'm like, wow, the Carmen Sandiego got a remake, but Avatar can't? Okay, bet. I was kind of salty about that. But fast forward, right? Fast forward to, like, a month later, after I discovered the show's existence. Like fast forward to, like, a month later. I was playing Minecraft with my cousin, right? And he was like, hey, bro, man, I was watching this show last night, bro. It was pretty good. And I'm like, oh, bet? Oh, really? Like, what was it? And he said, hey, it's this Netflix original, called Carmen Sandiego. And I'm like, Carmen Sandiego? You mean the remake that they made? And he's like, yeah. You mean the show that was based off of the old 90s cartoon? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, yo, what? What? And you're saying the show is good? And he's like, yeah, bro, I was really surprised by it. I'm like, nah, you tripping. There's no way. There is no way this show is, there's no way that this show is actually good. I was just in denial. I was like, there's no way that this Netflix original is actually, like, that this Netflix original that no one asked for is freaking good. And he's like, yeah, bro, it's really, really good, bro. Like, I just finished the show last night. I'm like, you finished it. And this show is 4 seasons, right? And he already finished it. I'm like, yo, what the freak? I'm like, what the freak, bro? So he's like, yeah, bro, let me You know what? You know, after we're done playing, I'll show you. We'll watch an episode tonight. We'll watch the first 2 episodes tonight, and I'm like, fine, bro. I'm like, fine, bro. I really don't want to watch it, but fine. I'll watch it. I'll watch it. See if it's good, guys. Like, we watched like four episodes that night. We watched 4 episodes of the show that night. I only planned to watch 2, the first 2, because those were like the origins, right? It was like an origin story type of stuff. The first 2 parts, and the second, and I ended up watching 2 more episodes because I was actually enjoying it that much. This is the second most surprising cartoon I've watched in 2021. This is the second freaking most surprising cartoon I've ever watched in 2021. Aside from Invincible, this show, and I watched this show before I watched Invincible, by the way, just so you know. Because I watched the show. I watched the show like 2 months ago, but I'm like, bro, this show is freaking amazing. Like, I'm like, yo, what the who knew that the Netflix original remake of Carmen Sandiego would be really engaging? Who knew? And I was just like in bewilderment, man. So yeah, that's the story of how, I just started freaking watching it ever since. I just started binge watching like right after that night. Right after that night, I just started binge watching, and I'm like, yo, this is really good. So again, last warning, spoiler warning right now, because I'm about to tell the plot of the show. I'm about to tell who joins whose side, what's going on, stuff like that. I'm about to reveal all the twists and turns that this show has, because it has a lot, and it's pretty awesome. So, Carmen Sandiego is about, well, Carmen Sandiego. However, this is different from the 90s cartoon, because in the 90s cartoon, she was a villain. She stole stuff because she wanted to be rich and wanted money and all of that. She stole stuff for her own personal gain. However, in this version, she is more like an anti-hero. She still commits heists and steals stuff, but she's doing it for a more notable purpose than just that she wants to be rich. She's doing it for another reason. The reason why she's stealing stuff in this show is to stop other, more evil people from getting it. And what I mean by evil people, I mean this corporation called Vile. They're this evil secret organization that pretty much runs across the entire globe. They have agents in every corner, and they pretty much cannot be touched by law enforcement in any way. Not the FBI, not the CIA, none of that, because they are secret and barely anybody knows about them. And they pull off, like, they are everywhere. They're absolutely everywhere in every corner of the world, and they steal stuff for their own personal gains, whether it's and pretty much Vile is run by these board members, okay, and they each have different motivations for stealing stuff. So, for instance, one of the Vile members is like a fashion designer, right? So she wants to steal, shiny things, like shiny or special clothing, or fabrics or whatever, while another maybe, one of them's like a freaking country woman, so she may want to steal, like, country related things, like, and that's one thing I like about the show. I like how each of the villains has their own personality, and they each have their own reasons for wanting to steal the certain things that they attempt to steal in the show. One of them is a mad scientist, so she is trying to steal like different types of technology and all that, and different scientific things. Like it's all very interesting. It's all very interesting. Yeah, but anyway, so Carmen Sandiego is stealing. She's stealing the items that these suckers want to obtain, and then she gives it back. That's pretty much her whole gimmick in the show. But she doesn't do this alone, of course. She has a crew. She has these two siblings, these two gingers from Boston. These two Bostoners, called Zach and Ivy. I know a lot of people really don't like these characters. I know a lot of people really don't like them, and I can understand why. I can easily see them being annoying, But I like them. I straight up like them, bro. I really like them. I think they're actually quite funny. But I can understand if people will find him annoying. But I actually kind of like Zack and Ivy, alright? And apart from Zack and Ivy, she has another companion. Player. Player is, he's their hacker. He's their hacker. He's their eyes in the skies. He pretty much just sits behind a computer screen, types stuff on keyboards, types stuff on his laptop, and, somehow able to access like the top national databases of the world. The top databases of the world, just by typing a few keys on his keyboard. Yeah, you know how things are. You know how characters are. But yes, he's one of those. And I find him a very interesting character. However, I will talk about him later because he is one of the problems I have with the show. I mean, not a problem, more like something I would have done, more like a suggestion, more like something I would have done. Yeah. He's not necessarily a problem, but there's something I wish they did with him, or I wish they just delved more into his character. But I'll get into that later. But yeah. So and she has another member, which we'll get there in a minute. But pretty much the first episode, right? The first episode is an origin episode. All right, the first two episodes are like an origin story. And I find it. And that's actually what got me kind of hooked. I really like the first two episodes they're really good actually. Were really good. They pretty much tell the story of that Carmen Sandiego, she was not born, but she grew up at the Vile HQ. Where all these board members are at. She grew up there. She was there from when she was like a little baby. And it's just like so, and she's telling the origin story to this guy. All right, his name is Zach, I believe. I'll correct it if I got it wrong, but I think his name is Zach. I ain't seen the show in a bit, but last time I saw it was like 3 weeks ago. So his name is Zach, right? And he's an agent from Vile sent after her, all right, and he has her at pretty much gunpoint. He's not actually holding a gun. He's holding like this electric staff, all right, so this electric baton. But so it's not really gunpoint, but he's holding her there. Like he's holding her there. He's keeping her there. On this training card, and they're reliving the memories. They're reliving their memories back at Vile HQ when they were both students there, because the Vile HQ is actually a freaking learning academy. They have it's like a college for evil people. It's a college for people who want to steal, and bribe and do all this thievery stuff, do all this criminal stuff. That's what Vile HQ is. Yeah, so they were both students there, but see, the difference between Carmen Sandiego and other students, that Carmen Sandiego actually grew up there. Like, many students just go there somehow, but she grew up on the premises of that school, and we get to see her grow up, and we get to see her, like, from at first she wants to graduate, because once you graduate, you can be an agent. And you can go out and steal stuff for the board members. But she grows up wanting to be an agent, wanting to graduate. But then you see her like first of all, she fails to graduate. She fails to graduate due to one teacher, and his name is Shadow Sun. Shadow Sun. Now, you'll hear about him in just a second. You'll hear about him in just a second. But Shadow Sun is this. He's like this samurai guy. He's a Japanese samurai. He's one of the board members. He's one of the board members at the table, right? And what I find very interesting about Shadow Sun is that, like, Shadow Sun, first of all, is one of the coolest characters in the entire show. Let me just get this out the way. He is like one of the best characters in the show, like, if not the best. I freaking love Shadow Sun. He's so cool. He's so freaking cool. Yeah, pretty much at first Shadow Sun comes out. He comes out as kind of a butt. He comes out as kind of a freaking jerk. Just like he's acting like he's just being so discriminatory against Carman. And no, it has nothing to do about race. It's nothing to do about race. I'm just saying that, you know, he seems to single Carman out a lot of the times. And, you know, he fails her. He causes her to fail and not graduate with the rest of her class. Which you know, she's extremely upset about. She's extremely upset about because she knows that Shadow Sun failed her. And, you know, however, even though she graduated, you know, she doesn't give up. She wants to be an agent so bad. So she sneaks out. So while the rest of her class, that class that she was in, while they go on their first mission, okay, Carman, you know, sneaks out with them. She sneaks out with them, goes on the mission too. Pretty much, she very quickly changes her mind about wanting to be an agent because Zach, his villain name is Crackle. He's like his alter ego is Crackle. That's his villain name. But pretty much Crackle, she witnesses him trying to freaking almost kill somebody. Because pretty much, because see, there's one thing about the staff baton that he has, this electric baton. It's not just an electric baton. Like, it's not just a stun gun or anything. No, this thing is a lethal weapon. This thing is very lethal. Like, this thing can kill you. Absolutely. And so he uses, like, he's about to kill this man. She saves him, and she's like, "Hey, yo, what the freak's going on? I thought we weren't supposed to be doing all this. What is this?" So she pretty much, she turns from wanting to be a Vile agent to turning against Vile, very quickly. So, but she escapes Vile Island. That's where the HQ is on the island. She escapes Vile Island, and they do it in a very clever way. Of how she gets the red trench coat with the hat, because pretty much this lady comes by. I don't remember exactly what her job was, but this lady comes by with a red trench coat and a hat, and she pretty much steals that lady's clothes and leaves and disguises as her to escape. Pretty much. That's pretty much what happens. Long story short, of course, there's a lot more than what I'm naming here, but you know, I don't want this to take as long as the Invincible review, so I'm just gonna kind of speed through things. Yeah, man, like that's like pretty much her origin story, man. That's her origin story, man. So I want to take a second to talk about you know, the characters. Carmen Sandiego, I feel, is a great character. You definitely feel her struggle sometimes. Like, she gets, like, I mean, she wins most of the time. She's pretty much cocky for like 98% of the time. But when she loses, you feel the loss. Like, you really do feel that she freaking lost. And it's like painful. There's a specific episode. It's the last episode of season 1. It's the last episode of season 1, and it's my favorite episode of season 1 because because she become so one of the members, right? And this is an excellent subversion, right? Because one of the members of the board members of Vile, remember that country woman that I mentioned earlier, that I showed on the screen earlier, with the green hair? She, in the flashbacks in the first 2 episodes, she is shown shown as to be very, very caring towards Carman. I mean, like a motherly figure, right? Like very, very caring, very motherly, you know. In fact, she even found Carmen Sandiego, because they found Carmen Sandiego, she found Carmen Sandiego while on a mission in Argentina, and found her as a baby, just left there in the fields, and you know, she picked her up, brought her home, brought her to Vile HQ, and that's why she was raised, bro. So pretty much, this lady has been with Carmen since the very beginning. Okay? Like, she is a motherly figure. And so, the entire season, if it appears like she is trying not to go after Carmen. Like, she's trying not to go after Carmen, she's trying not to hurt her and all that, because, you know, it's like she loves her. You know, it's motherly, daughterly love, right? And then the last episode of season 1 happens, and it's like, oh my gosh, this sucker. It's like, wow. Wow, okay, this love really wasn't as strong as we thought, because the country woman and Carmen fight. Alright, they fight. In the finale, they fight. They get in the room together, 1v1. The country woman bodies Carmen. I mean, she is about to kill her. She was literally about to kill her. I mean, she was not holding back at all. It was actually a very brutal fight, and I was not expecting that to come out of pretty much a Netflix kids cartoon. You know, I was it was actually pretty violent. It was it's not like Omni-Man versus the Guardians violent, but it's it's freaking like, whoa, things just got dark. I mean, dead going, because again, the entire season, it seems like she wants Carmen to escape. She's holding back, blah 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 blah. Not in this fight, because she almost crushes Carmen to death with a bear hug, yo. And it's as brutal, and it's as brutal as it sounds, bro. It's freaking rough, bro. But Carmen doesn't die, because she gets saved. She gets saved by the person who actually cares about her, Shadow Son. Yes, the same jerk, and this is like the best twist in the show, easily. The same jerk that failed her, right? That failed her and made her not become an agent. The same guy actually is the one, and he actually is the one who actually truly cares about Carmen. He saves her from the countrywoman. Saves her from it. Oh, by the way, another thing that makes you suspect the countrywoman is going to freaking let her go is because the countrywoman is talking about family the entire season. We're talking about Vin Diesel, Fast and the Furious amounts of family in her vocabulary. We're talking about that. Again, it's all the more surprising when she just goes off on Carmen. I mean, just bodies her straight up, bruises and everything. Yeah, man, but Shadow Son is actually the one who found her. He's the one who found her in Argentina. and it's a wild plot twist because it's like, whoa, pretty much everything that we knew was a lie because Shadow Sun was the actual one who cared all along, not the countrywoman. Like she cared a little bit, but definitely not as much. But she definitely not as much as freaking Shadow Sun. I mean, Shadow Sun, and then Shadow Sun joins the crew. She joins the crew, and and it's like one of the best things. I'm like, oh my gosh, thank goodness the show did that because that's actually incredible. Because pretty much Shadow Sun abandons his role as a Vile operative, as a Vile like as a Vile freaking board member. Like this like a literally just is on the run now because he just straight up knocked out one of the one of the other board members, one of the other Vile board members, and at first the way it shot, I thought he stabbed her. I thought he stabbed her, bro. Like he didn't really. He just hit her pressure points, but it really did look like he freaking stabbed her, bro. Yeah, hey, I would have given the show even more props if they did that. I would have given the show even more props if they did that, but I already like the way they did it, right? I like the way they did it, man. So, Shadow Sun. Again, I love Carman. I love Shadow Sun. Zack and Ivy, I like now hold on. Before I get about player, right? Before I get about player, I want to talk about one more thing with the show. One more big thing about the show before I get to player. The art in this show is beautiful. I'm being serious. This show has one of the best art styles I have seen in a long time from a show. I mean, it's stylistic. It's freaking amazing. It looks so good. Like, let me just put up some of the environments from the show on the screen right now. Like this, like the art style is absolutely beautiful. Like the backgrounds, like this kind of reminds me like the backgrounds of Steven Universe. Anyone remembers that show? I remember I would always look at the background of Steven Universe and be like, dang, that's beautiful. Like that's painted. That's obviously painted. It's freaking painted beautifully. The entire show looks like that. It's not just the background. The entire show looks like that, and it absolutely looks incredible. Like they really know how to freaking utilize the art style, man. It looks so good. It has some of the best looking art style I've seen from a cartoon in a bit. Like, it's unique, it's stylistic, it's freaking... It looks incredible. It looks incredible. It looks incredible. But let me get the player. So, that... I wish... And this is not a criticism. I suggested they do this. Alright? A... player is, we don't really know much about him throughout the entire show. They never dove into his personal life. Like within the last 2 seasons, we kind of get something. Because he goes to public school, and we get to see his life in public school. Kind of, but nothing really that interesting happens. Like I wish they if I were writing this show, right, I would have delved more into player's character and make him more interesting. And because the entire show, and I do mean the entire show, he is the guy who works the cameras, hacks security systems, blah blah blah, accesses the databases, fights against hackers and all that. He's the hacker dude for all of the show, all of it. And I just wish they delved more into his character. That's what my main wish from this. That's my main wish for player. But that's not even a criticism. I don't, because I really love all of the other characters. So it doesn't really matter to me. It doesn't really matter to me that much. But it's just a suggestion. But Carmen, her crew, Shadow Sun, and the Vile operatives are not the only characters in this show. The Vile board members. They're not the only characters in this show. There's a bunch of other characters, so let me just rapid fire through them. So, we got Chase Devenue. Chase Devenue is he's a very funny... they do him so wrong in the show, however, man. And I don't mean as a character, like as a character he's perfect. I mean like just the way that the other characters treat him, bro. I mean, Chase Devenue really is. He really is the most abused one in this show. Because he's a detective. He's trying to capture Carmen Sandiego. All right, like he doesn't know her real motive for stealing stuff. All he knows is that she's a thief and that he needs to freaking and that she needs to go to prison. All right, so he's this French detective that's trying his hardest to catch Carmen Sandiego, but it never works out. But we got his partner, Julia Argent. Um, she is the polar opposite of Chase. Like she is the polar opposite. She doesn't want to catch Carmen Sandiego. In fact, she thinks that she's doing this for a reason. You know, and her, Julia's like it's kinda unwarranted sometimes. I mean, her faith in Carmen is so freaking like humongous, bruh. I mean, she has so much faith in freaking Carmen. It just made me wonder, like, oh my gosh, what if Carmen Sandiego just ended up being this actual like freaking serial burglar, or like this like she's actually a freaking criminal, like actually a freaking criminal that keeps getting away, and Julia's like, no, she's good, but she's not. Like again, I was always wondering, like, at the show, like, dang, what if like Carmen was actually a freaking like criminal, like vile level criminal. That would suck for Julia. That would absolutely suck, bro. Yeah, but Julia is like the polar opposite of Chase. She doesn't want to catch her, to be honest, and she always keeps trying to convince Chase that, well, maybe she's doing this for this reason. Chase is not having it. To be honest, I wouldn't either. He's a detective. He's a part of law enforcement. He's trying to catch him, but yeah. He later figures out what Carmen is doing, but that's like not till like the last season, right? That's not till like the last season. But you also have this corporation that they start working for, like within like the third episode, I think gets introduced. And this corporation is Acme. It's another secret organization, but it's not Vile. It's kind of the polar opposite. They're trying to catch Vile. They're trying to stop. They're trying to stop Vile. They are like the law enforcement that tries. They actually know about Vile. They know about Vile, and they're trying to stop him. However, Vile is completely untouchable since no one knows they can be anywhere, anytime. So they're kind of completely untouchable. However, Acme, and Acme is pretty much run, by Le Chef. No, not Le Chef. Wrong character. I can't remember the name. I can't remember the name of the person who actually runs Acme, but she's pretty much just this female Nick Fury. She's female Nick Fury. She's trying to she runs this entire organization, and they communicate through holograms like 90% of the time. I mean, dead going. like this corporation's budget, I bet, goes about at least 70% to holographic technology, because they be using it all the dang time. And they pretty much there you got your token villains. Which are the Vile operatives. All right, you got Lishev. I pretty much Lishev is this guy who's like very acrobatic. He's a very acrobatic man. He can fight very well. Not too much about him. You got Paper Star. She can turn. I actually really like her. I like her ability. She can pretty much turn any paper into a weapon. Like any material that that can fold into a weapon. She can turn a napkin into a whole dagger. Pretty much. Just to put her powers in perspective. Or not power, but like ability. Like she can, like she pretty much turns, you know, normal everyday paper, fax paper into a she can turn into a whole spear, pretty much. Like she's a spear that will go right through you. Yeah, that's pretty much, yeah, that's pretty much what she's about. Tigress, you know, kind of self-explanatory. She has sharp claws, very, very mean attitude. I mean, she actually acts like a cat. She actually acts like a freaking cat. Like if a cat was a person, Tigress is that person, bruh. She's the cat, bruh. She is the cat. And you have Zach. You have Zach. Zach is the, you know, he is the, I want to describe him as a love interest for Carman, but he's not though. Like it feels like it feels like it should. Like it feels like it should be. He should be the love interest, but it's not. It's weird to me that they don't do it. But hold up, there are like, hold up. Before I get to it, let me just finish describing some of the I'm sorry, Gray. Gray's his name. Gray. Golly, Gray. Oh Lord, I've been saying his name wrong the entire time. Gray is Crackle. Gray is Crackle. Oh my gosh. I was freaking thinking of Zack and Ivy for no reason. I mean, Gray, Crackle. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to freaking correct that. I'm gonna have to correct that immediately. But yeah, Gray is his name. And I apologize for anyone who got really triggered over me saying, over me calling Gray Zach for about 20 minutes. Oh gosh. When is he gonna learn? So like I'm hoping my review is kind of selling the show to you guys right now, because you know the show sounds pretty good, right? Like the show sounds pretty good. Like it is very beautiful art style, very cool. You know, good characters. It's a very good show. It's a very good show overall. But hold on. You know, it sounds very good, right? It sounds very good, right? See, ladies and gentlemen, this show is going to be known as many things for me. It's going to be known as the show I was never expecting to be good. The show I never expected to like. The show I never expected to look as beautiful as it does. There's a lot of things I didn't expect from this show. One of those, you know, as I was watching the series, right? So this series is 4 seasons long. 4 seasons long. Three and 4, about all 4 seasons are good except for one episode, the finale. Okay guys, hold up. I was originally going to talk about the finale. I originally was going to talk about it in this video, but I've decided not to. Okay? I've decided not to talk about the finale yet. Okay? Because I realize I have nowhere near enough time to say everything that I need to say about this finale. Not that I want to say, I need to say about this finale, alright? I don't have nowhere near enough time. So I'm just going to end it here. I'm not going to give my grade. I'm sorry, I said I'll link a timestamp to the grade. The grade's not coming yet. Okay? I'm gonna give another review. Alright, I'm gonna post a review just for this episode, because this episode is truly horrible. And I have nowhere near enough time as I need to talk about it. So I'm gonna do a separate video for that. And then I'll I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you guys later. I'll talk to you guys later. All right. I'm probably gonna have another review before that one. I'm probably gonna have another review before that one. And again, I'm sorry I've missed some days, some weeks actually. I went on vacation last week, so I couldn't really upload. Yeah, so I'm sorry that I've been missing some weeks, but I'll definitely have another week video out this week for you guys. Um, yeah, guys, that's it. Long Games Guy. I'll talk to you guys later, and stay tuned for the next review or that video whenever, because that video is coming out. That video is coming out. I'm making it for sure, because I need to talk about the finale of this show because it hurt me so much. It hurt me so much. All right, so guys, this Long Games Guy out. I'll talk to you guys later.